Hey everyone, welcome to the show. I have updates to share about Donald Trump cases. So the first is the big news. U.S. District Judge Tanya Chutkan issued a limited gag order today related to Trump's coup case and his impending trial. She also refused to reschedule the trial. She ruled that it will commence as planned March 4th of 2024. And according to a journalist named Josh Gerstein, he was in the courtroom today when this whole thing went down, and Judge Chutkan literally laughed at Trump's attorney at one point. Apparently, attorney John Lauro tried to convince her that her previous order, which also kind of limited Trump's comments, it's more than sufficient. He said, quote, "What you have put in place respectfully is working." So Judge Chutkan, as you would imagine, she laughed at that, the absurdity of that statement. And she said, quote, "I have to take issue with you, Mr. Lauro." And then the courtroom gallery also laughed when Trump's attorney mentioned that he once served as an advisory neighborhood commissioner in D.C. And Judge Chutkan asked him if it was before it became a, quote, "filthy and crime-ridden city." So obviously she was throwing some shade based on Trump's online comments about DC. And then Trump's attorney also tried to argue that Trump is, quote, "entitled to speak truth to oppression." And the judge cut him off and told him, quote, "I do not need to hear any campaign rhetoric in my courtroom." Then in addition, Judge Chutkan explained why Trump's speech can be limited even while he's a candidate running for president. She said, quote, "Mr. Trump is a criminal defendant. Joe Biden is not. His conditions of release override his First Amendment rights." So when all was said and done, the judge ordered that Trump cannot make any statements that disparage the prosecutors, witnesses, or any court employees involved in this case. However, she did give him pretty wide latitude to discuss the case online. She said that, he has every right to say that he's being unfairly prosecuted. That's his opinion. And then the judge also said in regard to Mike Pence, who, remember, he's not just his former vice president, he's also his Republican challenger. So, that's a tough one because he is going to be probably a witness in this case. And so she said, quote, "I will prohibit statements about potential witnesses or the subject of their testimony. If he wants to criticize Mr. Pence, he may do so, but he may not criticize Mr. Pence about the events in this case. Without this restriction, there is a real risk that other witnesses may be intimidated or other witnesses may be reluctant to come forward lest they be subject to the same harassment or intimidation." Now, still, Trump's team still thinks that this is too much. They plan to appeal this decision. So legal experts are concerned because they say if they appeal, that could push the trial back. So we'll see what happens. Then in regard to the New York fraud trial, Michael Cohen's testimony has been postponed. Apparently, he has some sort of medical condition. He was expected to testify tomorrow, Tuesday, and probably be on the witness stand through Thursday. But Cohen said, not to worry, I'm not backing out. He will testify. He said as soon as possible, he will be in there. And then speaking of the New York fraud trial, it came out in court that Trump's employees, mostly Alan Weisselberg, they tried to add 15 to 25% to the value of Trump's properties as a, quote, "presidential premium." They claim that his properties were worth more money than comparable properties just because he was the president. And they put this in writing. And then they tried to use those inflated values. In other Trump news, a lawsuit has been filed in Colorado that tries to bar Trump from being included on the 2024 ballot. That's based on that 14th Amendment clause that we've heard so much about against insurrectionists running or anyone who gives them aid and comfort. Well, Trump was trying to get that case tossed, and a judge just ruled against him. So that lawsuit will move forward. This is something that the majority of voters support. According to a Morning Consult poll that was conducted at the end of September, 51% of respondents said that the 14th Amendment should prohibit Trump from running for office. Only 34% of the respondents disagreed. So that's not the best news for Trump. Next up is brand new reporting that Trump is suing former British spy Christopher Steele. He's suing him for that infamous dossier that played such a huge role in the 2016 election. You're going to die laughing when you hear this. Trump actually claims in his lawsuit that the dossier caused him, quote, personal and reputational damage and distress. Seriously? How could anyone harm his reputation more than he has? And wasn't he the one who said he could shoot someone on Fifth Avenue and not lose any support? So, then what damage did it do? He won, right? He won the election in 2016 after the dossier came out. So, he didn't win the popular vote. He won the participation trophy, otherwise known as the Electoral College, but still he won. Anyway, this is never going to fly. It's not going to work. Not only for the reasons I just laid out, but also because Steele didn't release the document to the public. He put that report together for a private group, and then it leaked out different parts of it. And especially after Congress got involved. But yeah, this isn't going anywhere. Anyway, last but not least, a judge just voided the Trump campaign's non-disclosure agreement with all of their 2016 staffers. You guys might recall there was an NDA that Trump required all of his campaign staff to sign. And one of his campaign members sued. She filed a lawsuit in 2018. She said that she was fired or something like that because she had reported sexual harassment. Anyway, she was later joined in a class action lawsuit against the campaign. That was in 2019. So it's taken all of these years, 4 years, but the judge just finally ruled in their favor. So former Trump campaign staffers can now spill the tea without consequence. That is a good thing. I cannot wait to hear what they have to say. We'll see. All right, everyone. Thank you so much for watching and listening. Please like, share, and subscribe. Please donate if you can. Links are below in the description box on YouTube and the podcast. Love you all so much. Take care. Talk with you soon.